welcome back to Rec and Rule. My name is Brian. So, number one, it's been a while. Number two, my voice might be a little bit hoarse. This is my first week back at work, and I'm getting adjusted to not only projecting my voice once again, but also projecting it through a mask, which is a little bit harder than you might think it is, actually. And then number three, initially the audio might sound a little bit echoey. And the reasoning for that is that our dishwasher is running in the background. And I don't know how well the different audio filters that OBS has will be able to cancel out that noise. So just kind of bear with me for these first couple of like introductory parts here, and it should hopefully fix itself. So we're going to be taking a look at the first scenario of the Mad Titans Shadow, which is the newest expansion for Marvel Champions by Fantasy Flight Games. This is not available yet in the United States, and spoiler alert, I am located in the United States. About a month before this was released, there began to be some rumors that it would be delayed in the US. I was initially going to order from Canada, but then we found out that Canada would be releasing at the same time as the US. But then as I kind of held out a little bit longer, it became clear that it was going to release as scheduled in the UK. So I ordered it from an online UK game store called Magic Madhouse. It arrived within a week. And in terms of what I paid, I basically only paid a tiny bit over MSRP and got it quick. I got nervous because there were some interviews with FFG staff where they were kind of saying that they were hoping that it would release in the US sometime this year. And I don't know if they were being sarcastic or not. I didn't actually watch the video, but I decided just to pull the trigger so that I could have it. I'm a big fan of Cosmic Marvel in general. I like Thanos in particular. And the Black Order I thought were really cool. It's kind of a shame. This is a side tangent, but you guys are used to that by now. I listened to the director's commentary for Infinity War, and I think I got most of the way through Endgame. I may have to rewatch some of the final parts there. But anyway, there were apparently going to be some kind of flashbacks or some background, at least, for the different members of the Black Order. But that ended up on the cutting room floor just because they had so much to get through. Would have been cool to have seen that. But anyway, I ordered the box. It arrived. We're going to go through. And my overall plan for this is that I'm going to go through the campaign, but I'm going to kind of do it in a little bit of a different way. I would probably get bored playing the same hero all the way through. So I'm going to try to give you guys a thematic matchup for each different villain as we go through. With the first villain is going to be Ebony Maw, which we'll take a moment and we'll take a look at what Maw can do. And let's take a look at Ebony Maw. But before we do, let me just kind of highlight this kind of neat 3D printed villain tray organizer type of thing. I ordered it from a store on Etsy called Reality Foundry. So there's a spot over here. This is the encounter deck. And then as you discard them, there's a little slot back here that you can discard them into. Your villain goes here in the center. The main scheme goes beneath. You can use a spin down to track how much threat is on the scheme. And then the villain health dial tracker goes right in there, slides right in, nice and easy. Just kind of keeps things organized. And there's also a spot for acceleration tokens so that you know to put extra onto the main scheme during that first step of the villain turn. They make a bunch of different tokens and stuff. I also grabbed some of these. These are just for side schemes, like just little counters you can put onto them as well. I might end up using them in this game. I might not. We'll see. But again, just kind of neat. And with that said, let's take a look at Ebony Maw and what he can do. I'm going to be going with just stage 1 and 2. I'm not going to get too crazy. Let me see if I can get a little bit better focus here. There we go. So for Maw, begins with 2 scheme and 1 attack. And he does have a little star right there. There's a forced interrupt. When he activates against you, you remove an invocation counter from each spell card that's in your play area. So Maw's whole thing is that he's going to start to put spells out there, and they're going to kind of be on a countdown. So whenever he does activate, whenever he schemes, or when he attacks against you, he's going to remove a counter off of that spell. So basically Some of them will be very short. They'll come in with 2. Some of them will be a little bit longer, 4. There might be a 5 or 6 in there too. And you kind of have a countdown of when you know something bad is about to happen. Now, of course, there could be things that cause that to accelerate. So if the villain gets an advance, or if they get an assault and they're able to attack or scheme twice, then that could cause that spell to go off when you don't expect it to. You are able to stop the invocation counters from being removed by stunning or by confusing him. If so, he does not activate against you. And then for his second stage, it is essentially the same, although when he pops out, he is going to search for a spell card. And then he also does go up by 1 for his attack as well. His health bumps up a little bit too. Okay. And from here, I'm going to talk to you guys about the hero that I will be playing. And like I said, I'm going to try to give you guys a thematic matchup for each villain. So against Maw, we are going to take Doctor Strange. Now, Doctor Strange is probably up there near the top in terms of the most powerful heroes that are in the game. I've not played him until recently. I did do a test run against Maw about a week ago. I did tweak the deck that I used. So with Doctor Strange, he is going to begin in his alter ego form. And in that form, he is a mystic. He's got 3 recover. It tells you that he begins with an invocation deck. We'll talk about that soon. And his ability in alter ego form, basically that he's able to dig through there. If he does not like the top card, you can try to move on to the next one to get a better one. And then in his hero form, he's got 2 thwart, 1 attack, 2 defense. Generally, you don't really want to be using them. You want to be using right here instead. So you can exhaust him in order to play the top card of the invocation deck. And you always know what that is. You always see the top card. You do have to pay the cost for it, however. There are ways to ready Strange, in which case you can use multiple different spells off of that invocation deck. And let's take a quick look at some of them. So he begins to play with a 5-card invocation deck. You would shuffle it before you play. I'll do that before I begin to play. So in there, you have the Vapors of Valtor. And the idea is that you're able to switch 2 status cards that are in play. So the idea is, let's say, I don't know, you wanted the villain to be stunned, but you're only able to confuse them. If they have a confused token, you could change that to a stun. Or if they have a tough token, if you want to get rid of that to make them easier to attack, you can change that to stun, for example. He has the Winds of Watum, which allows you to draw 3 cards, and then no matter what, you always put these in the discard. He has the Crimson Bands of Sidorak, and you stun an enemy and you deal 7 damage to it. It's not an attack, so this is able to get past if you yourself are stunned. He has the Images of Icon, which is a similar, similar type of concept where you confuse the villain and you remove 4 threat from scheme. And then similarly, this is not thwarting, so if you are confused, you're able to play that card. And then finally, we have the 7 Rings of Ragador. So here, you're able to give up to 3 characters each a tough status card, which could, again, be helpful, especially just for, paying 1. And then the idea is that if at any point all of your invocation cards are in the discard and they have their own special discard, they don't go in with your normal deck, then you shuffle them up and you just kind of make the deck again, and you can always see the top card. Okay. And then for people who are less familiar with Marvel Champions, one of the things that's helpful, because right now, life is busy, life is crazy. You have a 40 card deck, which is going to be familiar to my Transformers players. And the basic idea is that every hero has 15 cards that are specific to that hero. So they're automatic include. You're going to take them no matter what. And then, to be quite honest, you're usually going to have, you're going to typically have 5 kind of like resource cards that are almost auto include. 3 of them are basic resources, so genius, and then I'm going to blank on the other names of them till I find them. Strength, and I saw the other one. Oh, energy. So the idea is that these count as 2 resources for cards that you want to play. And then on top of that, you're going to also usually take the 2 resource cards that you're able to take for the specific aspect that you're playing. So right there, you're at 20 cards that have already been chosen for your deck. From there, you just have to choose 20 more. So deck building is relatively easy, and there are enough cards now in the game that you have some pretty difficult choices to make in that regard. So it is recommended. I went with, for this deck, we're going to be using Justice as the aspect. The reason why I'm doing that is there's not really a great thematic reason why I'm using Justice Doctor Strange against Ebony Maw. But again, Strange is considered to be pretty powerful, and I wanted to go for the aspect that people seem to think was the least overpowered with him. So we're going to go for Justice and see how it goes. I have played this matchup once, and I won it pretty handily. I could very well have gotten lucky. I did make a few tweaks to the deck. I found that I had too many cards in here that were dedicated to thwarting, and I was essentially able to make it so that Maw wasn't scheming much, so I didn't really need that. But we'll see how things go. I did try to get some more cards in here to be able to do damage. A few quick kind of disclaimers before I begin. I am just getting back into Marvel Champions after not playing for a while. I may very well make some mistakes here. If so, please let me know. I am by no means an expert player. I'm going to make moves that are probably not optimized. I'm going to try to make it so that I'm not going to take any moves back. Like if I notice that I could have done something better, I'm going to try to stick with what I did. The only exception to that might be that if I figure out that I just did something that's illegal, I'll probably try to revert the game state if I can. One other quick disclaimer. My wife and I had a daughter, which is fantastic if you did not know. And we had her back at the end of March. She is about 5 months old now. She's doing great. She's awesome. She's getting chubby. She was born 3 months premature. She is hooked up to a monitor every now and then. When she gets into a deeper sleep, it does go off. She has, knock on wood for the table that I'm playing on here, everything's always been good, but there's a chance that there's a random jump cut, or if you hear kind of like a sharp beeping and then like the camera cuts, I'm just going to go to check on her. So that's why there might be weird jump cuts. And I'm going to get things kind of set up. I'll shuffle on camera so you know I'm not stacking the deck, and we'll go from there. All right, here we go. So again, just to kind of shuffle on camera so you guys know that we're not getting anything stacked up here. So in the encounter deck, the basic encounter set is in there, or I think it's called the standard encounter set. That's in there along with Maw's specific cards, and then it also calls for the Armies of Titan and also the Black Order sets to be in there as well. So those are shuffled up. I also have Strange's obligation card in there as well. So here, if we take a look at the main scheme. So here it says Ebony Maw leads an assault on nowhere in order to capture the power stone stored within. And then here just tells you the contents there. We can flip over. So if there's 6 scheme on here, just 1 player. So just 6 scheme is, sorry, 6 threat is needed to advance it here. So it says when revealed, each player discards cards from the top of the encounter deck until a spell environment is discarded and puts it into play in their play area. shuffle the encounter discard pile into the encounter deck. So it's going to begin with one threat on it, and then every time that we go to the villain phase, one is going to be put onto it. So I have already, we've got the spin down set at 1, and we start to discard. So not a spell. This is an attachment, not a spell. Not a spell. We have a spell. Okay, so normally these would come out with Surge, but because what's happening here is that we are putting it into play. That's a little bit different than when it is kind of like being played essentially, so it's not going to get Surge. So what we've got here is Pacification. It enters play with 3 invocation counters on there. It says after the last invocation counter is removed from Pacification, discard it, exhaust each upgrade that you control, and you are stunned. So this is going to go here. It comes in with 3 counters on it. And again, these counters will go down each time that Maw activates. And when there are no counters left on there, that's when that's going to go in and activate. Now, normally, when this comes out as part of the encounter deck, it's going to have Surge. So it's going to put other cards out there, and that can pretty quickly cascade. So we'll see how that goes. And it does instruct us to shuffle the cards from the discard back into the deck. Okay, so villain is all set up to go, and Maw is going to begin with 14 health down here. And we've got that set on the dial already. And let's get Strange set up to go. So again, we'll shuffle up, and his hand size is 6. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. See what we have and see if we would like to mulligan. So we've got Master of the Mystic Arts. Seems pretty good, but we probably want to get some resource generation going first. Let's hold off on that. This could be helpful, but we're not too worried yet about schemes. Let's hold off on that. Concussive Blow, we can confuse an enemy. Maybe. We're going to definitely hold on to energy because we want to play some more powerful cards would be good. Daredevil is kind of expensive. I don't know if we're going to be able to play him just yet. This could be interesting because we might be able to remove this. We are going to hold on to that, okay? I think what we're going to do is we're going to mulligan these 4 cards. We're going to get rid of them. So we're going to draw 4 more. So 1, 2, 3, 4. So we have another resource card, so we can pay for some expensive stuff. We have a Protective Ward, so we're able to cancel a Treachery card when that pops out. We have Astral Projection. So we can choose a scheme, remove 3 threat from that scheme, and look at the top card of the encounter deck. For each boost icon on that card, remove 1 additional threat from that scheme. Pretty helpful. Also have Stealth Strike. So deal 4 damage to an enemy. If that enemy is defeated by this attack, remove 2 threat from a scheme. Okay. And then we also want to take a look, and we want to see what card we have on the Invocation deck. And we have the Winds of Watum, which is going to allow us to draw 3 cards, which again, we're going to see we might have pretty interesting first turn here. All right. So I'm going to kind of keep the actual deck itself mostly off camera. Same thing over here. Okay, and let's give this a shot. Again, I'm a little bit rusty, kind of bear with me here. So the very first thing that we're going to do is we're going to flip Strange over to his hero form. And again, his whole thing here is that we can exhaust Strange and pay the cost of whatever the card is here in order to play that card. So let's do that. We're going to exhaust Dr. Strange. And we are going to play the Winds of Watoomb. That's going to go directly into the discard pile, which I guess we'll put here, and then we'll know that the next card that's on deck is going to be the Vapors of Valtor, which is when you switch status cards. So here from the Winds of Watoomb, we'll draw 3. So 1, 2, and 3. Okay, so we've got quite a few options here. And let's begin by doing this. We are going to use Power of Justice. That's going to give us 2. And then let's also use 4 Justice. That's going to be 3 altogether. And we are going to play Quasar as an ally. So Quasar is new with this expansion box. So when he enters play, remove 1 threat from each scheme that's in play. So he enters play, and we are at 0 threat on our scheme. From there, we have a lot of cards that are not really super helpful. Let's go for the heck of it. We're gonna pay 2 by using energy. We are going to pay 1 for astral projection. That gives us 3, and we're going to play Stealth Strike. So as a hero action, we're going to deal 4 damage to an enemy. If the enemy is defeated, he's not going to. We're not going to worry about that part, but we are going to do 4 damage to Ebony Maw. And the rest is not going to trigger because he's not going to be defeated. Maw goes from 14 down to 10. Okay. Let's see if there's anything else that we want to really do right now. These cards are all fairly helpful. I guess what we'll do is we will use Quasar. We will exhaust him. We'll do 2 more damage with his attack to Maw, and Maw will go down to 8. Okay. And then for folks that are new to Marvel Champions, so with your allies, when you see that symbol, they take what's called consequential damage. So he'll have 1 damage on him, and then he has 3 health. So when he gets to 3 damage, he will be discarded. So right now he's got 1 damage on him. Okay. Let's take a quick look right here. Let's see if I want to mulligan. I don't necessarily think that I do. This could be helpful. You know what? I guess we'll get rid of turn. Yeah, we'll get rid of it before we draw back up. So we're here. We're going to draw back up to. We are now going to have a hand size of 5 since he is in hero form. So 3, 4, 5. Cards that we just got were Wong. Wong is a very helpful ally, and then he can either heal. Sorry, guys. I don't know why it doesn't like to focus on the cards. You can either heal Strange, or you can also use Wong to help get new cards in the invocation deck. We just played Stealth Strike, and we also have Mystical Studies. So in Alter Ego, we can search the deck and the discard pile for a Doctor Strange card and add it to the hand. All right, so pretty helpful, but not amazing. And then we're going to ready all of our cards. And then from here, we go to the villain turn. So the very first thing is that we're going to put 1 threat onto the scheme. From there, the villain's going to activate against us. Because we're in hero form, Maw is going to attack us. So Maw has an attack of only 1. However, he is, so very first thing, Forced Interrupt. When he activates against us, we're going to remove an invocation counter from each spell. So we only have 1. It's going to go from 3 to 2. And again, when this runs out, I have to exhaust each upgrade that I control. I currently don't have any upgrades, and it's going to also stun me as well. Maw is going to attack me. When the villain attacks, they get a boost card. So we take a look down here at the bottom. So there's one icon. So Maw is going to be hitting us for 1 and then an additional 1. If I did want to defend and essentially use this to block, I would have had to have exhausted Strange to do that before this card flipped out. So I didn't do that. And because of that, I'm going to take 2 damage. I go from 10 down to 8. I also, if I wanted to, could have chosen to use Quasar as a blocker to take that. It's discarded, and then the next thing that happens is we're dealt an encounter card, which we are then going to reveal. And we have a minion, we have an outrider. So when revealed, you're going to discard 1 card at random from my hand. If he'd come out as a boost card, like if this was the card that came out when Maw attacked me, then this also would trigger, and it's that same effect. So he's a minion. He's going to come into play. He's going to be engaged with me. And then next turn, when the villain goes to attack or schemes, the minion's going to do that as well if it's still out there. So I need to now discard 1 at random. I'm going to discard here. Strength. Womp womp. And that's going to be gone. Give me a second, guys. Sorry, I have to pause. Sorry about that. That was not baby related. That was a cat causing trouble. You guys can see now why I've not done a video in like 5 months. Okay, so from here, it goes back to me. We're now back in the hero turn. So we have a smaller hand. We only have 4 because we did just have to discard. And not only that, but that hurt because we lost our resource card. So that's not fantastic. Taking a look right here, I think, so what we could do is we could either keep these to play these, but these are more of kind of like reactionary type of cards. So I don't think we're going to do that. I think that instead we're going to want to go for one of these right here. So this right here feels maybe like this would be overkill in order to use this to kill the minion. So I don't think we're going to do that. Wong is pretty helpful, and not only that, he is also a potential blocker as well. So I think that what we're going to do is we're going to pay 1, 2, and then 3. And I think that we are going to bring out Wong. So these 3 are going to be discarded. Wong is on the field. It should be noted that there is a limit of 3 allies that you can have unless you have something that is going to change that. So I can only bring out 1 more potentially. So here, the card that's on top of the invocation deck is kind of a womp womp because this is the one where if there are no statuses out there, it can't be played. Now, I kind of have a choice right here. I could flip Doctor Strange and get rid of it using his alter ego action, but that doesn't seem great. I could use Wong to exhaust him to also go through the invocation deck. I don't know if that feels great either. I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to begin with Quasar. So I'm going to have Quasar is going to exhaust. He's going to do 2 damage because, again, he does have 2 attack. And he is going to kill the Outrider, which has 2 health. So that's gone. We don't have to worry about him. Quasar is going to take another point of consequential damage. He's going to go to 2. He's got 1 left. From here, I think that what I want to do is use Wong to heal Doctor Strange for 1. And then I think that I'm going to use Doctor Strange in order to thwart, and we're going to get rid of this. So there's currently 0 on the scheme. This doesn't feel great. I feel like this is a little bit of a wasted turn, but that might be how things shake out right now. From here, I'm going to draw back up to 5. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So we've got some definite stuff we can work with next turn. We're going ready our cards here. And then we're going to go over to the villain. So from here, we put one onto the main scheme. And then Maw is going to activate against us, but there's the interrupt. So we're at 2. We're going to go to 1 counter. He's going to attack, and I think that I'm going to take it on Strange, and I don't think I'm going to defend. So Maw is going to flip over a card, and there's going to be 2, and actually kind of the womp-womp. Actually, I'm sorry. I don't think Surge... I'm pretty sure Surge does not activate. In this case, I think I'm just looking down here. Okay, so we've got 3 attack total coming into me, and I'm going to go from 9 health on Doctor Strange down to 6. Okay, from here, I'm dealt an encounter card, and it's going to be Super Giant, and this is not great. So she's going to come in like this, and she has Quick Strike. So as a minion, she comes into play engaged with me, and let's see here. So she has Quick Strike, and when she attacks and damages a character, that character is stunned. So that's not fantastic. She attacks for 2. Strange can defend for 2, but she's pretty likely to get at least 1 on her boost. So I think that we're going to block with Quasar. Minions are not dealt boost cards, so Quasar is just going to get... Ooh. Yeah, Quasar is just going to get exploded, I think. There's a slight potential I may have played that wrong, but if so, I'll figure that out and put some notes in the game there. And that's it. So she was able to do that because she has Quick Strike. Otherwise, she would not have attacked me right there. It's not great. She does have 5. She would have stunned Quasar if Quasar had survived that. Okay, so we are back to me. And we're going to take a look at my hand again. So, ooh, actually, stun might not be bad. So that right there, folks, probably was a misstep. I probably should have taken that stun, and I probably should have used this. I should have let Strange get hit there, because I then could have gotten tough. I could have switched that with the Vapors of Valtor. Whoops. Okay. I think that what we're going to do... Some of these are really good. Okay. This is kind of a feels bad type of moment. Okay. Man, oh man, as much as this kind of hurts here, I think that what we want to do is we want to... I think we want to pay 2 for the Cloak of Levitation, and we're going to get rid of Nick Fury and Magic Blast because there's no way we're going to pay them to pay for that. So the Cloak of Levitation gives me Aerial. This is not going to do much in this deck, but I'm able to exhaust the Cloak in order to ready Doctor Strange, and that's going to hopefully pay off definitely in the long run. So what I'm going to do here using that is I'm going to exhaust Wong, and I'm going to get rid of the Vapors of Valtor. So I can exhaust Wong to discard the top card. New top card is going to be Images of Icon. So I'm able to confuse the villain and remove 4 threat from a scheme. So I think that what we're going to do is we're going to... She's going to be a problem. So we are going to pay... That. But this could be helpful too. Okay, we're going to use this as much as I don't want to in order to exhaust Doctor Strange to play the Images of Icon. So we are going to confuse Maw. It's going to slow him down from casting his spell as well. And then remove 4 threat from scheme. There's only 1, but we'll remove it there. From there, we're going to exhaust the cloak to ready Doctor Strange. And then the next thing that we're going to do is we're going to flip Doctor Strange. By the way, the new card here is going to be the Crimson Bands of Sidorak, which is the one that allows you to do a ton of damage. 7 damage and stun. And then from here, what we're going to do is we're going to exhaust Strange to recover 3. And we're going to go to 9. Okay. So from here, I don't like the fact that she's still on the table. I wish that I would have had a good way to get rid of her, but there's not a whole lot that we can do about that at this moment. So what we'll do is we are going to draw back up. We're in alter ego form, so my hand size will be 6 now. So that's 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. This can let us cancel a treachery card that comes out. This allows us to draw if we get rid of a side scheme. Jessica Jones kind of gets boosted up if there are side schemes in play. This is where we can remove 3 threat from scheme and then maybe a little bit more. And then this allows us to pull spell cards back. And the Eye of Agamotto allows us to generate a wild resource. So a lot of these are pretty helpful. We're going to ready my cards. And then from here, we're going to put 1 onto the main scheme. So from here, Maul would go to scheme against us, but he's confused. So instead, we're just going to remove the confused. He would have removed this, but because the confuse or a stun kind of blocks that from happening, that stays out there. I don't have to worry about that yet. But then Supergiant, she is going to scheme, so she's going to scheme too. And there's nothing I can do to stop that, so this is going to go to 3. Minions do not get boost cards, so it just happens like that. And from there, I get an encounter card. So it is manipulation. It's a spell, and I don't think there's any way I can stop this, which is not great, but let me double check. It's not a treachery, and I'm not in hero form anyway. Nope, 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 nope. This has to happen. Okay, so we have another spell. It's going to enter play with 2 invocation counters. And then when those are gone, you're going to discard this, and we discard 1 card at random, and we become confused. So not terrible, but definitely annoying. So second spell in play, it comes in with 2 counters on it. Now, the bad thing is that when these enter play like that, they get surge. So it comes in with another card. So this is a treachery card. Blood Despair. So each minion engaged with the player activates against that player. Each player who is not engaged with the minion searches the encounter deck and discard pile for a Black Order minion, puts it into play engaged with them. Shuffle the encounter deck. I think that... Ooh, we can't do that because we're not in hero form. I don't think we can stop it. We can't stop it. So each minion engaged is going to activate against me. So in that case, Supergiant is going to scheme again. So 2 more. So we go to 5. And at 6, this advances. This game is already going worse than the first one. Not great. Okay, I think that all of the villain stuff has happened. So from here, we're going to go back to me. Let's take a quick look here. So out of everything that I have, I think that what I want to definitely do is we are going to pay 2. So let's go with Skilled Investigator and Sanctorum. We'll use both of those in order to pay for the Eye of Agamotto. And sorry guys, I need to kind of get my play area figured out a little bit better here. And let's go with this. Let us... I'm trying to think, how do we want to handle this here? We are going to flip Strange back here to hero form. May have had to have played that in hero form. Not a huge deal. And let's see. +2. Let's do this. We are going to pay 2 and exhaust Strange in order to play the Crimson Bands of Sidorak. So it's going to stun an enemy and deal 7 damage to it. As much as I don't want to use this on Supergiant, I kind of want to get rid of Supergiant so that she's not continuing to beat us up. So we are just going to kill her. She goes away. And then we're going to exhaust the Cloak, the Ready Strange. We also want to flip over this last card. So we've got the 7 Rings of Ragador. So what we're going to do is we are going to use the Eye of Agamotto in order to cast that spell. So we're going to give up to 3 characters tough. So we will go with 2 characters, give Doctor Strange tough, and give Wong tough as well. What I think we'll do is we will exhaust Wong in order to... I don't think we can... Let's do this the right way. So the very, very first thing that we need to do, and let's not exhaust Wong yet. Very first thing we have to do is we have to shuffle these cards up. We ran through. The card that's on top is Vapors of Valtor. So, let's see. I already would have played it, so I don't have the option to give the tough to Maw. Although what I would have liked to have done is to then play that in order to change it into a stun. Now we can't do that though. So I think that what we are going to do is we're going to exhaust Wong in order to do 2 damage as 2 attack to Ebony Maw. Ebony Maw is down to 6 health. Wong would take a damage, but it pings off the tough instead. And then from here, what I will then do is I'm going to have Strange Thwart for 2, taking the main scheme from 5 down to 3. Okay, from here, I think I've done everything that I'm able to do. Our hand size is 5 in hero form, so 3, 4, 5. We're going to ready all of my cards. And from here, very first thing we do is the scheme goes up by 1. And then from here, Maw is going to activate against me. Now some bad stuff is going to go down here. He's going to attack me, but along the way, he's going to remove counters here. So this is going to be the last one off of pacification. So it says, when the last counter is removed, exhaust each upgrade that I control, and then I'm stunned. It's actually not as horrible as it could be, but that is going to suck a little bit. So those are exhausted, and I am stunned. Find the right one. Okay. From there, what we're going to do now, that goes away. We also remove 1 from manipulation, but it's not gone yet. He's going to attack. I'm going to take it because I do have tough. So he comes into attack. Okay, nice thing that I have tough. So he would have hit me for 4, but it's just going to get rid of my tough. That goes away. I get an encounter card, and man, this is not going great. Sorry, guys. Pause. Okay, sorry about that. Again, you see why I've not filmed the video in 5 months. So from here, we just had the obligation card for Strange come out here. So it says, give to the Doctor Strange player, that's me. You may flip to alter ego form and then choose. I can exhaust Stephen Strange and then remove this card from the game, or the next event that I play costs 3 additional resources. So I think, oh man, that's rough. Um, what cards do I have? Obligation, we can't cancel it. Ooh, man, oh man. Well, we have mostly events. I think we're gonna exhaust Strange. That's not great. Um, I may flip to alter ego form. Do I want to do that? Uh, we're gonna stay. We're not gonna flip. Okay. So this is gone from the game. Yikes, that was not great. Okay, I think everything's happened that needs to happen. Our board is not looking good. Things are not looking good in general. And we're back here. So let's see what we can do. It's not gonna help us right now. Not gonna help us right now. I don't think we're gonna have enough to do this. Okay, let's bite the bullet, right? So, although, let's see, 1, 2, 3. It's gonna cost 3 extra. Okay, let's do this. We're gonna go for cost 1, and then here, this is a new type of resource that is in this box, where after you spend the resource, you're able to get some type of beneficial effect. In this case, I'm going to remove 1 threat from the main scheme. So I'm spending it. 4 threat goes to 3 threat. And then we're going to go with 2 and let's say 3. Okay. And basically that's going to allow me to, ooh, no, not good. Hold on, guys. Give me a second here because everything's basically exhausted. I can't play that because Strange is already exhausted and I can't unexhaust Strange. Oh, man. Okay. I think we're still going to basically do the same thing here. Okay. So this card would cost 1. It's an event. I'm going to have to pay 4 for it. So all of these right here are going to be spent to make it happen. We are still going to do the determination, which I already did right there. So 4. And this is going to allow me to pay the printed cost of the top card in the invocation deck, resolve its special ability, then place it back on top of the invocation deck face up. So here, I'm not going to have to exhaust Strange to do this, if I'm reading this correctly, which I think I am. So we're going to play Vapors of Valtor, and I'm going to choose a status card that is in play, Stunned, and I'm going to switch it for another one, Tough, on Doctor Strange. And then because of this, it stays on top of the invocation deck. Okay. I still have Wong who can do stuff. So I guess Wong is going to go in there. He's going to punch Maw. So Maw is at 6. He's now going to be at 4. Okay. That feels real painful, but I think that somehow, like, Strange can probably recover from what would mess up other heroes. We're going to draw back up to 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay. So from here, that's going to stay there. We're going to get all of these untapped. And then the scheme goes up. So 3 becomes 4. And then from here, Maw is going to attack because we are in hero form. We will take it on Strange. The interrupt, though, this is going to remove that counter. So with manipulation, we will discard 1 card at random and we will be confused. So confused, this goes away. We will discard 1 card at random. We will call it this one. Not great. I feel like I keep on getting rid of our resources. They count for 2, so that's not fun. Yikes. Okay. And then Maw is going to attack Strange. So here it would have been 2, but again, we are tough. So just get rid of tough as a status. And then from here, we are dealt an encounter card. So it is a spell, not great. Comes in with 4 counters, and then when they're all gone, it's going to deal 4 damage to my identity. And that's going to happen regardless of whether I am in alter ego or hero form. Okay, so it comes in with 4, and then his spells have Surge. It's going to pull in another encounter card. So we have a Landing Craft, and this is a side scheme. So discard cards from when we defeat it. Discard cards from the top of the encounter deck until a minion is discarded. Put it into play. Engage with the player who defeated the scheme. That's going to be me. It's going to come in with 2 threat on it, and then on top of that, there's going to be an acceleration counter that is going to be on the field until I get rid of it. And we'll use one of our fancy little Johnnies right here. So this is going to go to 2. Boom. Okay. So none of that was really fantastic. Okay, let's see what we can do. Goes back to me. So again, we have a smaller hand size here, which again is not really great. So let's see. Let's begin by exhausting Strange in order to play Vapors of Valtor. So again, we're going to choose a status card and replace it with a different status card. So we're going to get rid of Confused on Strange, and we're going to make that Tough instead. We'll then use the Cloak of Levitation to ready Strange, and then our new card here is going to be the Winds of Watum. I do like that. So I think that we're going to then exhaust Strange again to play Winds of Watum and draw 3 cards. So we're going to go with we have Mockingbird. That's helpful. We're going to have Under Surveillance, which is going to help us to not advance the scheme. That could be good. And then we also have Wiccan. So when Wiccan thwarts, we discard the top card of the encounter deck, and then for each boost icon discarded this way, deal 1 damage to an enemy. That could indeed be helpful. Okay, let's take a quick look at what exactly we want to do. So I think that we're going to begin by using this here. So again, even though it shows 1, we double the resources when you pay for a Justice card. So we're going to use Power of Justice in order to play Wiccan. Let me again just try to like rearrange my area here. So with Wiccan, we're going to have Wiccan thwart. So we're going to thwart, and we will thwart here to go to 1. And when Wiccan thwarts, we discard the top card in the encounter deck. Ooh, helpful. So here, for each boost icon discarded this way, deal 1 damage to an enemy. So Wiccan's going to just nail 3 for Maw. Nice job. Not bad for a 2 cost. All right, so 3 to Maw. So Maw goes down to 1. Good. And I'm going to take 1 consequential damage because of that. See what else we want to do. I think that what we want to do now is okay. We're now going to pay. Let's go. We're going to use this to pay for Followed and attach that to a side scheme. And then when the attached side scheme is defeated, deal 4 damage to an enemy. So we're going to try to do this in a smart way. See if we manage to do it in a smart way or a dumb way. So let's try to do it this way. We're going to activate Wong. Wong is going to attack Maw, which is going to defeat this first stage of Maw. So before I get too involved and I forget, let me put 1 damage on Maw. So Maw is going to be defeated for his stage 1. So when he goes to stage 2, and this does happen right off the bat, there's a forced interrupt when Ebony Maw activates, same thing, no big deal. But when we reveal the stage, each player discards cards from the top of the encounter deck until they discard a spell. Put that card into play in their play area. And again, it's not going to have Surge. So let's see. This is not a spell. Not a spell. Not a spell. Not a spell. Now we have a spell. All right, so we have Rubble Storm. And it says here, it's going to have 3 invocation counters. And when the last one's gone, deal 2 damage to each character that we control. Okay, so that's there. It has 2. Okay, so from here, what we're now going to do is we're going to go with 1 resource, 1 resource, and we're going to also go for the Eye of Agamotto for the 3rd resource that we need in order to play Mockingbird. So Mockingbird, when she enters play, she's going to stun an enemy. So she is going to stun, of course, Ebony Maw. So Maw is stunned. Now on top of that, we're going to use her to then thwart. So she's going to thwart for 1, which is going to get rid of the side scheme, which is going to also activate here. We're going to deal 4 damage to an enemy. So we are going to deal it to Maw. Sorry, this version comes in with 18 hit points. So he'd be at 18, and he's going to go to 14 instead. Okay. All right, so that's where we are. This is going to get discarded, and then from here, the landing craft, when it's defeated, we discard cards from the top of the encounter deck till a minion gets discarded, and we put that into play engaged with us. So we're going to go with a minion. And they are a guard, and when they're gone, they're going to give the villain a tough status card. Guard means that we need to attack them before we can attack Maw. All right, I think that we're spent on everything that we can do. That was a pretty impactful turn. That was pretty good. So our hand size is 5. So we draw 1, we draw 2, and then my deck has run out. So when that happens, we're going to deal ourselves an additional encounter card that'll come into play later. And I have to shuffle and then draw 3. Oh, by the way, new card that's on top, which I forgot to do, is the 7 Rings of Regathor, which is going to give a tough status to 3 characters, up to 3 characters. Okay. All right, so from here, 1, 2, 3. So our hand is going to be these right here. None of these will be anything that we can use as reactions, which is not fantastic, but we'll make it work. And then what we're going to also do is ready all of our stuff. So we have 3 allies on the board. We can't do any more allies unless we get rid of 1. 2 upgrades out there. Okay, so what's going to happen now is we are going to have, this here is gone because the side scheme is gone too. All right, I think we're set on that. So this is going to go to 5. From here, Maul would activate. He would attack because we're in hero form. However, he's stunned, so he just gets rid of that stun. But then the minions will attack, and I will. Mockingbird takes 1 consequential damage. Let's not forget that. I'll take it on Strange. They attack. They ping off his tough. No big deal. We are dealt an encounter card, so we have 2. We have to do this one first. So this is gang up. In hero form, the villain and each minion engaged with you attacks you. Not fantastic. Okay. Maw is going to come into attack, and I think that we're going to soak it onto Mockingbird. So Maw attacks, and no additional. Maw hits for 2, but that will kill Mockingbird. So she's gone. And then the infantry attack as well. Let's see. I think that we will just take that on strange. So 2 just get through. Goes to 7. Okay. Second encounter card is here. This is Channeling Trance. When revealed, remove 1 invocation counter from each spell environment in your play area. If there are no spells, discard till you put a spell into play. So we just get rid of 1 from each spell. So here, 2 on Rebel Storm becomes 1, and then Fireball 4 becomes 3. Okay, so I think that's everything. Okay, and it's going to go back to me. And as a reminder to myself, I need to get rid of the guard minion before we can do much else. So let's see what we can do here. The Magic Blast is going to be pretty good. Let's do this. Let's begin with Wiccan. Wiccan's going to thwart. So we're going to go from 5 down to 4. And when Wiccan thwarts, we reveal the top. Sorry, we discard the top card, top card of the encounter deck. And it's going to be here. There's 1 icon, so we can do 1 damage to somebody. I think that we will do. Give me a second here. Let me think. Let's go with. Let's go with 1 damage to the infantry. Yeah, let's do that for now. And then we take 1 consequential damage, so Wiccan goes to 2. Next thing that I would like to do is we will go with Strange is going to pay. For the 7 Rings of Ragadoon, we'll use this. Although that could be helpful. Let's use this. Okay, we're going to use that for the 7 Rings of Ragadoon. Give up to 3 characters a tough. So we'll go 1, 2, 3. So tough goes to Strange, Wong, and to Wiccan as well. From here, I think that what I want to do, well, let's get rid of that. Let's see our new card, Images of Icon, which is going to confuse the villain and remove 4 threat from a scheme. Could be good, especially if we decide that we want to flip. Eventually eat a lot of damage. Let us do this. Sorry, guys. Brain is a little bit fried right now. So let's go for Wong can do 2, and then we can get some stuff going. Let's try to get a little bit fancy here, okay? Let's go with Wong is going to go in. He's going to tap himself in order to do 2 damage to the infantry, which is going to go to 3. That's going to get rid of his tough for the consequential damage. We will use the Cloak of Levitation in order to activate Strange. And then Strange is going to From there, he's going to tap himself to do that last damage to kill the infantry. When that happens, we give the villain a tough status card, which I forgot, and that's not great. So that's going to go there. What else can we? It's not good. We messed up our order of activation there, people. Let's go with, we're going to pay using that in order to play Endurance onto Strange. He's going to get +3 hit points. So 7 is going to become 10. Okay. And then from there, we are going to keep those cards because we don't want to waste the Magic Blast right now. There's not much else good that we can do, unfortunately. I don't think we want to flip. All right. Let's see how this goes. We're going to lose Wong. Okay, here we go. Let's draw back up. So we have 2. We're going to go to 5. So 3, 4, 5 cards in hand. From there, we will untap what needs to be untapped. And we've untapped. We go to the villain. So it's going to go from 4 to 5. Maw is going to come in to attack. We will eat it on Strange, but we're going to also... Will we eat it on Strange? Man, it's going to be a little bit rough here. 2 damage to each character that you control. It's not fantastic. Okay, we're going to say that when Maw attacks, Maw is going to hit Wiccan. Okay, so Maw is going to hit Wiccan, and from here, though, interrupt is going to happen. So Fireball goes from 3 to 2. Rubble Storm goes and is gone. So here, deal 2 damage to each character that you control. So for Strange, it's the tough. For Wiccan, it's the tough. For Wong, it's going to kill him. And then from there, the attack is going to come in at Wiccan. So Maw reveals a boost. So 2 plus 2 is 4. Wiccan is also dead. Not amazing. Okay. And then from here, it's going to be 1 encounter card. Assault. So the villain is going to attack again. So from here, it's going to remove a counter, which is going to go to 1. Maw is going to attack Strange. Let's see, can we do anything to stop that? No. I guess we have to eat it. So we already has a tough, so this little special thing does not do anything. For 2, and we go from 10 health down to 8 health. Okay. So we've got that taken care of. It's going to bounce back to me. Let's see what we can do to maybe recover a little bit. So I think that what we want to do here is that we want to attack with Strange to ping off the tough that's on Maw. Then I think that we want to exhaust the cloak to ready Strange. And I think that the next thing that we want to do is a 3. Or I want to do it that way. We're going to pay 3. So we're going to go 2, and then we're going to have the Eye of Agamotto give us our 3rd. And that's going to be for Magic Blast. So deal 5 damage to an enemy and discard the top card of your deck. If that card's printed resource has, and we'll figure that out. So Maw is going to take 5. He's going to go from 14 down to 9. Okay, he's at 9. And from there, we discard the top card of our deck. And we have, it's going to be the little brainy type of resource. So from there, it's going to confuse Maw as well. So Maw is confused. Okay, and that's it. Let's see what else we want to do. We have no side schemes out there. This doesn't necessarily help us. Neither does that. So I think that what we might do here is I think that we're going to flip over Strange. I think that we're going to tap. We're going to exhaust Strange in order to recover 3. So we're going to come up to 11 for health. And from there, I think that what we may also do is use his action to discard the top card of the Invocation deck, leaving us with Crimson Bands of Sideric. So we're in pretty good shape for next turn, flipping back and doing some damage. We're at 3 cards in hand. We go up to 6 now. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. We're in good shape there. We'll ready all of our cards. We'll see if we have anything that we can possibly play in the villain turn. We do not, so we don't have to worry about that. So from here, it's going to go to the villain. So it's going to go from 5 to 6. We're just going to advance the scheme here. So we're going to go to 2A. When revealed, shuffle the encounter discard pile into the encounter deck. Each player discards cards from the top of the encounter deck until a spell environment is discarded and puts it into play in their play area. So these get shuffled in. Sure that going the same way. All right, so we shuffle these bad boys in there, and then we discard till we get to a spell. So even though it's bad that you kind of see cards again, I guess it's not terrible that you don't have to worry about getting through the deck and getting an acceleration token. So we discard till we get to a spell, not a spell, not a spell. There we have a spell. So those are discarded, and unlike the original, you do not shuffle those back in. So we've seen them before. Manipulation comes with 2, and when they're gone, we will discard a card at random from the hand and become confused. So here we are at 2. And then from here, let's just double check. So we go from 2A, go to 2B. So we lose if we get to 9. And that's it. So he's trying to use his powerful magic to occupy us while his agents search for the Power Stone. And this is going to come into play with 1 threat on there. And we are at 1. Okay. And then he's going to go to, because we are in Alter Ego, he's going to scheme, but he cannot because he is confused. He'll get rid of it. And from there, we deal ourselves an encounter card. We have another spell. So this is going to come into play with 4 on it. This is a second fireball. It has Surge, so we do another card. A Treachery. When revealed, each minion engaged with a player. We don't have any. So instead, we're going to search the encounter deck and discard pile for a Black Order minion and put it into play engaged with them. So I think that we do the encounter deck first. I think you only do the discard if you... well, okay, right off the bat. Okay, so Supergiant, she has Quick Strike, but we are not in hero form, so she cannot attack. So that's not terrible. And then just double check to make sure I'm not skipping anything there. Okay, and that's it. We don't really have to shuffle. I mean, I guess it says shuffle, so I guess that we probably should. Not that we, whoops, not that we know what's coming up anyway. Okay, and that's that. I think that we're good. So we go back to us. From here, let's take a look at what we have. Only have to do 9 damage to Maw, and we'll be in good shape. And we can do 7 with the Crimson Bands. So we could do it with this. Yeah, we could do it. We could do it with Daredevil. Yeah, I think we'll do it with Daredevil. I've actually never been able to get him onto the board. So we'll have Daredevil, Punch, and Alien Wizard. All right, so let's go with Strange is going to flip over to hero form. So let's begin. He's going to pay 2 for the Crimson Bands of Sideric, and we'll pay for that with these 2 cards right here. So again, we're going to stun an enemy, deal 7 damage to it. That's going to go into the discard. Let's take care of this stuff first. For some reason, if we have a weird order of activations where we don't kill him, so stunned takes 7, so it goes down to 2. He's at 2. We will shuffle. I mean, if we somehow just get that card again, then we just play that again. Don't. The tough status card, not super helpful here. Let's see. So I think that what we'll do is we're going to go with Power of Justice counts as 2, plus 2 more cards. You get Daredevil. Daredevil comes in there. Daredevil is going to go in. He's going to attack for 2. He's going to punch out an Alien Wizard. And Maul will go to 0, and we will win that one. Again, guys, I'm a little bit sorry that I was a little bit kind of scattered right there, and I did have to kind of pause a little bit. I'm going to work a little bit on showing the play area a little bit better. I do, so thematically, I like this matchup a lot. I think that Strange, like the way that he works, where like you're just kind of doing a billion things at one time. It's almost like he's kind of desperately trying to find a way to get through the Maw. It's like in Infinity War, where, you know, Maw is pretty easily countering what it is that Strange is throwing at him. And I like this mechanic that Maw has, where it's essentially this countdown where things that are bad are going to happen to you. And sometimes it happens sooner than you think it's going to. Now, one thing that I will say is that I think that Strange is a pretty easy matchup against Maw because of the fact that he has some very easy built-in ways to keep Maw stunned or confused. And then you have this card where if you've got 1 status on him, you can make it whatever you need. Because again, if he's stunned or confused and he activates, you don't lower the invocation counter, right? So I think that that's a pretty strong counter. So I wanted to do this with stage 1 and 2 because again, I'm just getting back into the game. I am pretty rusty, as you saw. But I think that really, if you're going to try this on your own, that you probably want to, I forget whether it's called expert mode or advanced mode, whatever it might be, where you play as stages 2 and 3. I'm going to probably try that. Now, after Maw is, it's going to be a 2-villain encounter where you're going to have Proxima Midnight and you're going to have Corvus Glaive. And I think that I'm going to go with Scarlet Witch in there. I'm not going to go leadership because that's the one way that you could pull in vision. I think I'm going to go for protection instead and see what I can do with that. Because I think that, you know, her and protection, I think is going to be an interesting combo. My next thing I'll work on, I don't know when I'll have that video out because who knows when I'll have time. I appreciate you guys watching if you've been around for this kind of rambling nonsense, and I hope that you're doing well. I hope that your family's doing well, and I will hopefully see you guys again pretty soon.